Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Dan Fates here, and I think I've got somebody that just makes so much sense for the Bills to draft 27th overall in the upcoming draft at the end of this month. But before we get to that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment in with, before you watch this video, who you think or want the Bills to take at the end of the first round, and who maybe, if I swayed you either way, one way or another. I want to start this video off by saying I am team wide receiver. I have been team wide receiver for the last few years. I can also tell you at the NFL Combine, the whispers that we were hearing were that the Bills are a team that is very much interested in Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas. I've also told you here on this channel, Mike and I were at the draft in Las Vegas last year. They were interested in Breece Hall. I also know they were interested in Travis Etienne the year before. We were the ones who report that the Bills were interested in Christian McCaffrey. So I think running back is absolutely in play. I am team wide receiver. I would love them to take any weapon that can increase Josh Allen and help Josh Allen out and this Bills offense. But if I could take that hat off and put it to the side and just look at what do I think this Bills team could do, I look at what this team has done and what they haven't done as to how they approach things. So moves that they have made tell you a lot than what you think this Bills team should or shouldn't do. So this Bills team this offseason has added a lot of new faces offensively. Excuse me. Offensively. They've added 2 wide receivers, 2 offensive linemen, and a running back. New players on defense, really it's just Taylor Rapp. Now they re-signed Jordan Poyer. They re-signed Big Phil, Jordan Phillips, which I love. But besides that, it's just kind of been bringing back a lot of familiar faces. And we know there's going to be changes on this defense. But one position they have not addressed this offseason is the middle linebacker position with the loss of Tremaine Edmunds. And getting into some of this draft coverage, we'll have more coming up through the week. Jenna did a great job. We've been researching playmakers, pass catchers, offense, guys that can help Josh Allen. That's my side. But I was doing some research in today, and I think that there's a middle linebacker that the Bills, it would make so much sense for them to take at the end of the first round. And that is Iowa middle linebacker Jack Campbell. He was the Dick Butkus Award winner in college. He had 140-something tackles his junior year at Iowa, came back last year, meaning this year, and was the number 1 linebacker in the country. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He was phenomenal. So the more you look into it, why does Jack Campbell seem like a perfect fit with the Bills? And there are a few reasons. And again, I have been on the side of draft or of signing a veteran bridge linebacker. I think it's a lot to ask for a young player, a rookie, to come into a defense that is established as one of the elite defenses in the league and make them become the leader of a defense. Now, Tremaine Edmunds did it, but the team was at a different point when Tremaine Edmunds was brought in. This was a team that had no expectations. The expectations are different. That's why I said, I was very upset that Bobby Wagner didn't get re-signed. Shaquille Barrett was another guy that I thought there were pieces out there that I thought would fit better instantly as plug-and-play guys in the middle of this Bills defense. But the more I look at what Jack Campbell can do for this Bills team, the more it seems like he is just a Sean McDermott process-driven guy. And the first thing that makes so much sense, and after you watch this video, you'll go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense why they would take him. The first one is his size. Jack Campbell, again, you don't think of athletic guys out of Iowa. It's just not normally what you think of. This guy's a freak. He is a freak. They have this relative athletic score. RAS is how they grade some of these prospects that come out. Tremaine Edmunds, athletic freak. 6'5", 250 coming out of college, out of Virginia Tech. He scored a 9.74. Very high. Elite level of athletic scoring. Jack Campbell, 6'5", 249. He scored a 9.98. It's out of 10, guys. I mean, that's just unbelievable. He led all linebackers at the combine in the 3-cone drill, 3-cone shuttle, as well as the 20-yard shuttle. Now, he's a hair slower than Tremaine Edmunds. Edmunds ran a 4.5 440. Campbell ran a 4.6 540. Again, these guys are 6'5", massive human beings. And if you want to, you can pause the channel at this moment and go and look at some of Jack Campbell's highlights from Iowa, and they're impressive. You can go. But pause this video and then go. All right, so now that you're back, athletically, he would fill the role of a freak middle linebacker with another freak middle linebacker athletically. It makes so much sense. And when you start to take it back a little bit more, you see that Edmonds cons, if you look at his draft prospect profile coming out of college, one of the cons were instincts are average, relies on athletic gifts. But if you see anything about Campbell, it is his instincts. He is a read and react guy. He has instincts. And that is something I think that is very telling. He's also a great communicator, a great leader. And I had the chance actually earlier today, I caught up with the Iowa linebackers coach. And I got to sit with him on Zoom. And I asked him, the guy's a freak, but what is it that impresses you the most about Jack Campbell that isn't just the raw athletic ability at 6'5", 250? And here's what he had to say. Take away the 6'5" frame and the speed and athleticism. What impresses you the most about him that doesn't include his measurements?
Yeah, I think the way that you just described him in regards to his measurables, and you use the word freak, I would use that same term and describe the way that he approaches the off the field stuff, the stuff that that probably doesn't get enough credit. The way that he operates as a as a football player, with the day-to-day stuff. And I'm talking about the meetings, I'm talking about the individual time, talking about studying your opponent. He's very methodical about the way he does things and the way he goes about his life. Like everything's planned out. He's got a routine. There's, the things that are important to him are, probably in this order: football, family, and faith. And he will give everything to all three.
Yeah. So doesn't that just sound like a McDermott kind of guy? Football, family, faith. It just makes so much sense. And you're starting to see some of those things that are starting to pop up that are linking Campbell and the Bills. Daniel Jeremiah on his podcast talked about it. Also, Matt Perino from Syracuse.com also kind of previewed some of this too and highlighted what Daniel Jeremiah had to say and some of these things. Bucky Brooks was also on the podcast with Daniel Jeremiah and had this to say. They draft to the culture, meaning tough, hardworking, extremely competitive guys that are no nonsense, take care of business. You look at some of the guys they've brought in the recent years: Rousseau, Epinesa, Iowa guys. That is what it is. I talked with the Iowa linebackers coach, and I just left that Zoom and I went, just screams process. He just sounds like a guy that is a Bills process guy that can lead that defense. Incredible personal skills, communication, another one of his pros, very football guy oriented. That was the first thing I asked Seth was, hey, what impresses you the most when I say, or what is the first thing you think of when I say Jack Campbell? And he said football guy. Just kind of fits that bill. So you look at the skills, tackling machine, sideline to sideline. All of that seems to replace what Tremaine Edmonds was to this Bills defense. Size with it too. And then it just so happens that Jack Campbell is training this offseason with this guy. Yeah, he has been working out training with Luke Kuechly. To which Daniel Jeremiah, joking around, said, who else does Sean McDermott trust more than Luke Kuechly? All-pro player, middle linebacker. That was the other thing that Seth had said, the Iowa linebackers coach, was that he's an old school middle linebacker. Instincts. Now, there are some concerns about maybe his speed or his coverage ability. Doesn't have the quickest feet, but I think that he can do enough in what Sean McDermott needs out of a middle linebacker. So Tom Fornelli from CBS Sports has him going there. The only thing that we can say is the big board prospects, which is interesting. It's big boards when you hear about is just the talent of the players. So like Bijan Robinson, people have him going anywhere from 20th to early second round because, a lot of people don't take running backs in the first round. Jack Campbell is anywhere from 50 to 67. But what you have to understand is that after the top picks um, in the first round, it kind of falls into you're getting a second round player. So the Bills being at the end of the first round is really like a second round player. So if you like Jack Campbell, and I think the Bills could very much like everything about him and his intangibles and his size and his speed and his character and all of those things, but you can say, well, he's not a first round pick. Why wait? If he's the guy you like at 27, don't mess around. Take your guy. And I go, if you need a guy to be a cornerstone, and again, pick up the pieces that Tremaine Edmunds has left behind, I think this is the guy. They love his communication skills. They have a connection with Iowa. They have Epinesa, Ike Butker, Micah Hyde, Iowa guys. Like, this just makes so much sense. And when we've talked to more and more in the relative size, speed, all of these things, I think Jack Campbell makes a whole lot of sense for the Bills at the end of the first round. With that being said, I'd still like them to add some weapons around Josh Allen. But the Luke Kuechly connection, to which Seth Wallace, the Iowa linebackers coach, told me, football-wise, very similar. Off the field-wise, he's very reserved. The personalities aren't necessarily the same. But again, this is a guy that he's a tackling machine, played at Iowa, dominated some games in the Big Ten. In a football, a defensive conference, he was the best player out of the defense. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you think. But I go back to the size, the freak athletic ability, the intangibles off the field. He fits a Sean McDermott-like process. He just feels like a Buffalo Bill. And while I would like them to go out and add a weapon, I was Jamison Williams last year. I liked Breece Hall. I liked any of those other pieces. Boy, Jack Campbell just makes a whole lot of sense at the end of the first round. Size, speed, everything off the field. Now, I asked the coach, he said he hasn't visited with the Bills, but don't freak out about that. That's something else that was very interesting. Don't worry if they have done an official visit, because that is something they bring in. A lot of these guys, they bring in official visits when they have questions about them. There is no question about Jack Campbell's character, his intangibles off the field. So they may already know it. We're good. We don't need to have him in. We don't need to waste one of our top 30 official visits on a guy that we already know that we like. It's bringing in other guys that they're unsure of, that they haven't had enough time to get to know. So don't worry about that if you don't hear that he didn't come on an official visit with the Bills. I think he's still very much in play. Daniel Jeremiah, as well as Chris Trapasso from CBS, also has him as rated the 22nd best player on his big board. So he has the upside. He has the body of work. He's another guy too. Remember when Josh Allen, they said they were impressed by Josh Allen, played at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl at the end of his junior year when he didn't really need to. That was similar for Jack Campbell. His coach said it wasn't in his DNA. He played in his final game, in his bowl game, the day after his grandfather passed away. Very close with his family. Didn't even know it, but kind of that full circle moment of playing for just loving to play the game. A lot of the boxes check off, guys. Do some research. See what you think about Jack Campbell. I like his instincts even more than I like Tremaine Edmunds, and they're both freak athletes. So again, appreciate the video. We will continue to gear up our Bills draft coverage next week. Mike Jenna will join me. We'll do it all again. We'll talk about wide receivers. We can even talk about some tight ends that could be in play for the Bills in the first round. Again, I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe in. Let me know what you think now after this. Again, size, Luke Kuechly, Sean McDermott. Just makes a whole lot of sense. The Bills already have 3 Hawkeyes on the team. Why not add another one? They are football guys, as Jack Campbell's coach told me. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for commenting, subscribing. Comment in with who you think the Bills should draft at the end of the first round, and if you would be okay with Jack Campbell being the Bills' middle linebacker moving forward. Again, I am team wide receiver. I've also been team veteran linebacker. I'm not saying that Tyrell Dotson couldn't be the guy. I've liked what he said, but if you're looking for a guy, again, rangy, Tremaine Edmunds wasn't great in coverage coming out of college. He got better as his career went on. I believe Jack Campbell can be in the same way. But I like the sideline to sideline tackling. You replace that instantly with size. Kind of like it. All right. Thanks again for watching on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. We'll catch you next time. Appreciate it.